So let's just start with like, why would you want to even have a balanced life? And there are a lot of arguments for um, people with balanced lives don't get a lot of interesting stuff done, right? You got to be unbalanced in a direction to really get some interesting stuff done. Like you got to be a complete business maniac, or if you're gonna compete at in triathlon Ironman, you got to be like maniacally focused 8 hours a day on being an Ironman, or you can't do it. And I'm going to say yes, maybe. And so the idea of balance is not that I'm balanced at all times in my life, but I'm balanced sort of in aggregate. Oh, there are going to be times that I consciously and intentionally go unbalanced for a particular goal. And we do that all the time in business. For example, if you've done any M&A, when you're in the middle of doing an acquisition or a sale, you become highly unbalanced. Like it just takes obscene amounts of time, days, weekends, nights. I mean, it's crazy the amount of time if you're in the middle of it. And, you can't focus on your business. You got less focus on your family, your fit, all the other factors of life. So you can't, and that's okay. But I'm not talking about the elements of a balanced life. And as I get into this, I want to think about this the way you think about goals in your business. We always talk about SMART goals, right? Measurable, attainable, results oriented, so forth. The same thing's true when you think about your personal balance goals, your life balance goals. So number one is physical health. You need to spend some time on your physical health. For me, the standard on physical health is I'm physically fit enough to do anything I want to do. I'm not looking to compete in Mr. Universe. I'm not looking to run Kona, although Stephen Pivnik is going to go do that. He's in insane shape. I just want to be able to do whatever I want to do. That means if I want to go climb a mountain, I can do that. I want to go to Disneyland, maybe with my grandkids in 10 years, or who never knows when I have grandkids. I want to be able to do that. If I want to go scuba diving, I want to be able to do that. I don't want my body to be in the way of me doing the things that I want to do. Now, obviously, at some point in life, that changes. I get that. But, you try to extend that horizon as long as you can by staying fit and healthy until the body says, okay, no mas. By the way, when you're thinking about these items, I'm going to talk about 7. I might add an 8th. Think about it. These radar charts, and they've got multiple axes. And when you're 0 is at the center and 10, which is good, is all the way at the outside. When you think balance, think I'm sort of at 10s or 8s and 9s all the way around. It's like a nice round circle, balanced. When you're out of balance, there's one spiky one that is really like when I was doing more physical fitness than I should have. I was a 10, I was probably an 11 on that. And I was obviously ignoring some other things in my life. Okay. So I was out of round. I was out of balance. So just a mental model I use when I think about being in balance or not. The next one is family. We obviously have families, whether we have kids or not, or we have parents or aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever. These are your closest relationships. Now, I know you didn't have a choice about it. So sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad, but they are blood at some level. And, you want to think about what kind of relationship I want with family. But family is one of those groups that's never going away for you. And so maintaining those relationships, I think, is really important. It's part of your support network. It's part of your life, like it or not. Go. The next one is social for me. And I think this is different than family. A lot of people do all their socialization with family. I'm going to say that's not necessarily the healthiest answer. I think you need social interaction outside of your family network, and probably outside of your business network as well. So just people you hang out with and talk to. Now, we get some of that with CEO peer groups. The people in the groups become friends over time. In fact, I was talking to one member maybe a couple of weeks ago before Christmas, and he said, the people in my group are my best friends, which is cool. I mean, he's known him for 10 plus years. I mean, they really know everything about this guy, and they've had fun together, and he can tell them anything. And, if you want to make this better, you got to step out of your comfort zone to create the social network. That's asking somebody to coffee that you think is interesting. And remember that friendship and social is reciprocal. What you give, you get. And so if you don't invest in the relationship, you're not going to get the relationship back. And you go, why don't I have people to call when I want to go have a beer with somebody? It's because you didn't invest in the relationship. And I'll tell you that there are relationships I would like to spend more time in, and I don't, because I just don't have the time to do it. Shame on me. But, I'm at a whatever number I'm at on social. I could be higher, but I'm going to have to sacrifice something else to have more social. Like I said, you probably can't be tens on everything. That's probably not possible. The next one is financial. And this is financial success at some level. But really, it's almost like the health one. Enough financial success that you can do what you want to do. As I taught my children around money, you could think money is like, playing a video game. We're going for a high score here. And just as much as we can accumulate, the bigger number is a better number, period. I don't think about it like that. And I'd advocate that you shouldn't, because I've seen people with infinite money, and honestly, can cause some troubles, as it turns out. But I think the thing is that you got to connect money equals freedom of action. If you have enough money to have the freedom of action you want to do what you want to do, you've got enough money. It's important. If you're not meeting your financial goals, as I said, number one stressor, number one reducer of lifespan. And so this is important to be enough. The next one is business. And, I separate business and financial, and they are different, right? How your business environment is set up, how you work in your business environment, the people you have around you, the robustness of your business model. All of that is separate from how much money I earn, right? I mean, they may correlate at some level, but my financial success may be slightly independent from what's going on in my business and is the kind of place I want to build. So business and financial, a little bit separate. And part of what we try to work with people on is we want to build a great business. We also want to make sure you care for your financial success as well. So we've seen people that cared for the business overly. So there are 9 on that, and there are 2 on financial. And we go, look, we got to get those 2 just in a little bit more balance so that you're successful in business and you got the great environment and it's purposeful, but you're also having financial success that in the future will give you the freedom of action that you'd like to have. I'll give you the other side. We don't like to see people that are all about the money. The next one is civic. And I really think this is important. And I'm going to even expand this to say generosity. And why I say civic versus just generosity, it's because it's easy to write the check, particularly when we have a level of financial success. Just go, yeah, here's $5,000, $1,000, whatever your number is. That's kind of easy. When the Bible talks about treasure and talents. So treasure is easy. Writing the check is easy. People do that all the time. While I'm thankful in the nonprofits I'm involved in when somebody writes a check, I'm a little less impressed than when somebody actually comes and works. So I think it's your talents, contributing your talents and treasures is that spirit of generosity. And this really ties back to an abundant view of the world. I think cultivating a generosity of spirit through giving of time and giving of money is really powerful because, and this is maybe a little bit spiritual, which I'll get into next, but I've found whenever I give, even when I'm like, okay, this is a little bit of a push for me to make this commitment, but I'm going to do it anyway, because it always works out. There's like this karma in the universe that it all works out. And so I'm not in the give away all your worldly possessions camp. You'd be amazed at how that generosity of spirit shows up in other parts of your life. So, be a giver, not a taker. Be a creator, be abundant is the sort of balanced life element. And you ask yourself, am I abundant? Am I civically involved? Am I giving money only, or am I giving time and money? It's worth asking. And that is spiritual. And having a spiritual element of your life is important to retain balance, I believe. It gives you peace, tranquility. And I'm not telling you what that needs to be. Just that little bit of peace where you can go, take the energy out, just reflect and be, has an incredible power of re-energizing you mentally. I mean, sleep does that at some level, but I think actively going to a spiritual place is really helpful as well. And related to that is recreation. I talked about spirituality as a calm place to let yourself refresh. but I think we can't forget to recreate or recreate, or, right. And really recreation is recreate yourself, right? And what I find, and whatever that is, right? It can be an intellectual hobby, stamp collecting, coin collecting, ultralight backpacking. Why do wine? I want to be able to immerse myself in something else that I don't think about anything but what I'm in. In other words, that flow experience, that total focus on whatever it is, riding a bike, running, yoga, soccer, which I play a year. And so I think if you're missing true vacation, true recreation, that you just get away from it, you are, we all have immense capacity as CEOs. You are burning your capacity. You may not feel stress. I don't really, but you're definitely losing capacity to do whatever you want to do in life. So that's the balance. So just do the exercise, do the little radar chart of those 7 or 8, if you want to include recreation. And where am I? Am I a 0? Am I a 5? Am I a 10? And then based on that, you can start thinking about, well, if I'm a 3, I'd like to be a 7. How do I get to a 7? What will be the first step towards getting to a 7?